Season of Discovery promised to breathe new life into classic WoW, but here we are. The hype is faded, the leveling, even the rating on some servers feels like a ghost town. So is SoD already dead, or is there hope to save it? Today we're breaking down what's killing Season of Discovery and what Blizzard needs to do to save it before it's too late. First though, do you think Season of Discovery can be saved in the first place? Or is it fully doomed to be another failed experiment? Let me know in the comments and let's talk about it. So the first problem is that the numbers don't lie. See, Phase 1, it launched with massive hype. We're talking nearly 500,000 active raiders as they dived into Season of Discovery. But now we're down to 62,000 or less active players, and all but 4 of the initial launch servers are dead. Would love to hear from you in the comments. If you're still playing SoD, what's it like making a group playing? Does it actually feel alive? So anyways, back to the drop-in players. It has created this really vicious cycle around leveling. See, fewer players means there's less people to find dungeon groups. It's harder to level efficiently, harder to be part of a thriving world in the first place. So you might remember back in 2019, leveling, doing all those Scarlet Monasteries, the Zul'Farrak, grouping up with people for elite quests. You were meeting adventurers, you were making friends that might be with you the rest of the journey. You might even end up raiding with them too. But now the dungeons are empty, the zones are barren, you might as well be leveling by yourself. For a game like Classic WoW, the thriving player base, the interaction with other players, unfortunately it's everything, and the cycle can be really deadly. See, even on the remaining populated realms, the focus has gone almost entirely to the endgame, the max level raids, the PvP. That's great for a hardcore player, a serious player, but for a brand new player, it's like trying to join a party that's already over. While everybody else is having a lot of fun in AQ40, they're getting their best gear, you're stuck in Stranglethorn Vale, and you might still be leveling for another 30, 40 hours after that. It's difficult to imagine that many players wanting to endure that experience in Season of Discovery, which means that less players playing SoD and the cycle unfortunately continues. I'd love to hear if you've been leveling in SoD lately. Does your experience reflect what I said, or has it actually been pretty populated? So switching gears from the population, let's talk about what actually went wrong with SoD. What led us to this population drop? Starting from the beginning, the hype was definitely there. People from all different versions of WoW, from even outside of WoW as well, were very excited about Season of Discovery. Immediately though, when SoD launched, the same problem that happened in 2019, it happened all over again. This major problem cropped up that significantly impacted the player base. See, everybody that plays WoW, they want to play together. That means more dungeon groups, more level groups, more raids, more PvP together. It is a win-win for every single player. It's just common knowledge at this point to pick the highest population server, because if you pick a low pop server, it's going to end up dead eventually, you'll probably have to pay to transfer off of it, and it's just going to be a bad time. So Blizzard, instead of giving players exactly what they wanted, which was 1 or maybe 2 giant mega servers per region, instead they gave us a total of 16 servers. Blizzard was treating us like we still thought it was 2004, except the player base is older and wiser, and we know exactly what we want: 1 giant server. So instead of things going smoothly, there were a bunch of people trying to queue into the same server. Huge server queues, huge server imbalances, which meant eventually the servers had to get locked, and Blizzard had to force people to servers they didn't really want to go to in the first place. It was inevitable, of course, that those lower population servers would die off, and all the players that went there would have to come back, but that was just how it had to be. Pushing people off those high population servers was a band-aid fix, but it had long-term implication to population. After all, it is way too big of an ask to have players playing on a server, and then that server dies and they have to transfer off of it, bring their guild, bring all their friends. It is just unrealistic. As for what Blizzard could do in the future though, it does seem like they've learned from this mistake. The classic fresh anniversary, there's only 3 servers to choose from. Significantly better situation. So while the imbalanced servers were a blunder that Blizzard could have pretty easily avoided, there was an even bigger mistake, which is how all the content, all the excitement ended up getting rolled out. See, Phase 1 brought this incredible hype, the new systems like the runes, the waylaid supplies, new ways to play the game like never before. Fast forward to Phase 3, Phase 4, Phase 5, Phase 6, and things were kind of feeling a little too same old, right? We were getting the same Molten Core, the same BWL, the same AQ40. See, most of the population, myself included, we were thinking every single new phase, there's going to be new dungeons, new raids to look forward to. There's going to be tons of new content. And unfortunately, when we got to the true endgame, it was really the same thing we've always had. I will admit that Blizzard has done a lot creatively, but that doesn't make up for the fact that there's only really been one new dungeon, and there haven't been any new raids yet at all. Phase 6, really cool new gear with cool set bonuses, new events, fun new items. But it is the true lack of new raid and dungeon content that has really rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. See, without true, fresh new content to experience, a lot of players unfortunately are going to leave. I believe I have a reason why that is as well, and it's a pretty dark one. See, if you're going to give us the same classic we've always had, then there has to be more to the experience. People start to think, where is my character going? What is the point of what I'm doing? Back in 2019, we always knew, okay, we're going to get TBC and Wrath and maybe go beyond that, maybe eventually get to Mists of Pandaria. Or in the classic Anniversary, we could clearly see we're going to get to TBC and Wrath. Or in retail, you always know there's a new expansion down the horizon. The problem with SoD is, where are characters going? They can't really go back to Era because they have all these new runes and abilities. It wouldn't feel right. So people start to wonder, where is my character going? And because there really isn't a good answer from Blizzard on where your character's going, they start to question why they're even playing in the first place. Unless we're constantly getting all sorts of new exciting content, it's a hard sell to tell people we're going to be playing a character that probably won't live past this server. Maybe that's too hot of a take though. I would love to hear if you think your character having a life after SoD actually matters or not. So you probably noticed I talked about a ton of different versions of WoW there, and that is definitely a problem that Season of Discovery is experiencing as well. See, there are so many versions of WoW, from retail to Cataclysm, eventually Mists of Pandaria, Classic Anniversary, Classic Era. There are so many things taking our attention. It's a very hard sell to take somebody currently playing Cataclysm and to bring them back to Season of Discovery, abandon their Cataclysm raid. Or it's a hard sell to take someone playing retail and tell them to quit their retail raid to play Season of Discovery. I think, unfortunately, as exciting as the new Season of Discovery Scarlet Monastery announcement was, it kind of fell flat for me because I was busy playing Classic Anniversary. So I don't really know how you solve this from Blizzard's perspective, other than the retail route, where you have so much excitement, so much new stuff coming. New story stuff, new cutscenes, new raids, all this new content that just forces everybody back because it's so exciting. And unfortunately, I don't think Season of Discovery can really match that now. Ultimately though, Season of Discovery did match that back in Phase 1. The hope, the promise, it brought attention and excitement like never before to the category. There were even new players that came to Season of Discovery for the first time playing Classic WoW. They had never played Classic, and maybe you're one of them. And it definitely still remains to be seen if Blizzard can add something that'll bring back that hype of Phase 1. Maybe it'll be the new Scarlet Monastery raid. I'm definitely curious if anything will bring you back to SoD. Let me know in the comments. In the meantime, hit the subscription button and like this video because I am cooking up some bangers for 2024.